Good evening, viewers, and a warm welcome to Science News with me, Ruth Mweni, and our sign language interpreter is Esther Kendi. And to our news, the State Department for Social Protection has launched a new national policy aimed at strengthening equity and inclusion for persons with disabilities. Principal Secretary Joseph M. Montari said the policy reflects the government's commitment to ensuring dignity and access for persons with disabilities. The framework addresses challenges in 26 priority areas, including health, education, employment, and justice. The move comes as Kenya works to align with global standard with over 1 billion people worldwide with disabilities.
Next time, my team and the council make sure that we have a place where we can sit comfortably in such a very important engagement. Mr. Harun Hassan, Commissioner, Public Service Commission, representing the chair, Ambassador Musheri, asanteni sana. Thank you for what you're doing for us, and thank you for being there for us. Of Kenya Disability Parliamentary Alliance, KEDIPA, led by Senator George Mbugwa, who stepped out, Honorable Martin Pelele, also who stepped out, Ms. Elizabeth Chesang, our chair of the council, thank you. Thank you so much for being there for us, and thank you for your leadership at the council. For Professor Julio Giambo, chairperson of NFDK, Mr. Wangalwa, representing Wangalwa. How do you say Kizito? Doctor? Is it Mr. or Doctor? Wangalwa. Very good. Thank you so much for the wonderful remarks that you had for us, and also the Council of Governors, the CEO.
Persons with disabilities are said to benefit from the newly approved NYOTA Youth Empowerment Program, following a cabinet meeting chaired by President William Ruto and Deputy President Kithure Kindiki. Slated for launch in August 2025, the NYOTA initiative will empower 820,000 vulnerable and unemployed youth, including persons with disabilities, through skills training, entrepreneurship, and access to income opportunities. The program, backed by the World Bank, includes a monthly stipend of Kenya shillings 6,000 to enrolled participants. By 2027, NYOTA targets over 3 million youth, with projections indicating the stipend may increase to Kenya shillings 8,000. The 2025-2026 finance budget allocated Kenya shillings 28 billion to empower 60,000 self-help groups across all 1,450 wards.
This policy aligns with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, UNCRPD, which Kenya ratified in 2008.
It recognizes that disability is not a charity issue, nor solely a health matter.
So you already see that everybody is going to be asked to develop, to add, to resource, and have programs. And that is where now things start getting loose.
There are administrative processes that will need to work together between civil society and government to ensure that all these administrative processes are in place.
It takes into account the challenges faced by different groups within the disability community.
This policy represents a unique opportunity to institutionalize disability inclusion.
On every ministry, county government, and development partners to include the policy's recommendations in their work plans.
in other news, Kadhonsweni World MCA Benedict Kennedy Maneno has reached out to persons with disabilities and their caregivers in Mbuvo Sub-Ward, Makueni County, offering support through the distribution of assistive devices and the food supplies. The items issued Wednesday morning at Mbuvo Chief's camp were provided following medical assessments carried out last year. A similar exercise took place last month in Kadhonsweni Sub-Ward at Kadhonsweni CTTI. Maneno emphasized the importance of uplifting vulnerable groups and reaffirmed his commitment to service, calling the initiative a true reflection of serving humanity at its best. And Uganda President Yoweri Museveni has concluded a significant state visit to Kenya, engaging in extensive discussions on regional matters with its host, President William Ruto. The visit saw the signing of 8 new bilateral deals, bringing the total number of trade and cooperation agreements between the two East African nations to an impressive 25. Among the key new agreements is a vital partnership between the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and the Uganda National Bureau of Statistics. This collaboration aims to enhance the scientific and technical exchange of ideas, while also working to promote legitimate trade and curb illicit trade activities between Kenya and Uganda. In a crucial development, the two heads of state also committed to addressing the long-standing and often contentious dispute over Migingo Island.
The United States of America and Latin America. In terms of natural resources, Latin America may have more resources than USA. Latin America, big rivers, the Amazon, forests, madini, minerals, agriculture, everything is there in Latin America. Yes, USA has, but not as much as I have got that feeling that Latin America may have more natural resources than the USA. So the question then is, why is USA prosperous and Latin America in misery? You see those people walking on foot from Latin America going to heaven, United States. Wanafikiri America, USA ndio binguni, wamesahau kwamba God ndio yuko binguni. They are now going to the USA because it's their salvation. Why? I think the difference is in the organization. When those people formed the nucleus of the United States by uniting the 13 colonies of the British, they are the ones who started the core of that prosperity. USA has expanded, has got a big market. So ukiwa mfanya biashara, unaanzisha biashara yako in the USA, things are easy. You've got a big market of 300 million people. You can sell from New York to California. The whole space is one market. But in Latin America, El Salvador, small thing here. Honduras, small thing here. Nicaragua, Panama, I don't know, you can't even count them.
Former Budget and Appropriations Committee Chairperson Ndindi Nyoro has strongly criticized the government for the prolonged delay in disbursing capitation funds to schools, warning that the situation poses a significant threat to the education sector and risk plunging learning institutions into a severe debt crisis. The Kiaru Member of Parliament highlighted that the current capitation of Kenya shillings 22,000 per student was determined based on thorough analysis. He also emphasized that instead of delays, the focus of discussion should now shift to increasing this allocation to adequately meet the needs of schools. The delayed disbursements are feared to be crippling schools' program and potentially affecting the quality of education across the country.
It is appalling to see people in the same government giving different conflicting statements around the same subject. Even if you wanted to lie to Kenyans, you would have called for a meeting to harmonize the lie, so that when you come out, give Kenyans the proper picture. We hear the minister for this talking about this, the minister for the other differently, the other minister for the other differently. You need to give Kenyans hope and a cohesive messaging. And what we are asking is this: 22,000 as capitation is not a figure that came from the air and fell in schools. It was out of analysis done on the issues that capitation supports in a school. And therefore, we must not be discussing about whether to go down from 22,000. The discussion should be, since when 22,000 came about as capitation, there has been inflation. We should be talking about increasing capitation from 22,000 upwards. Capitation for primary schools is the same figure that President Mwai Kibaki was giving decades ago. Yet there has been inflation. There has been changes in pricing. The discussion in the country should not be about whether to do away with it. It should be about how much money are we adding to capitation in primary schools, in JS and senior secondary schools. And I want to request those who are in power now, when you are in government, you do not promise, you do.
President William Ruto on Wednesday assented two significant pieces of legislation at State House in Nairobi: the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and the Social Protection Bill 2025. The Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, a crucial piece of legislation sponsored by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, aims to introduce strict measures to curb unethical conduct within the public service. This new law consolidates all relevant provisions on conflict of interest under a single statute, thereby repealing the existing Public Office Ethics Act, Cap 18(5)(b). The EACC will now serve as the principal agency tasked with implementing and supervising compliance with the provisions of the Act, aligning with its constitutional mandate under Article 79.
To present to you original copies of two vellums for your assent. The first one being the Conflict of Interest Bill, which, Your Excellency, after 27 months, it has finally come for your final assent. Your Excellency, the bill was first introduced in the National Assembly in April 2023 by the Leader Majority Party, passed by both houses, went through a mediation process, and we brought it to you for your assent in April this year, which you returned to Parliament for reconsideration. Your Excellency, you indicated that the bill fell short of the expectations that were discussed in Cabinet with respect to a number of issues which were found in 12 clauses, in which, Your Excellency, after returning and expressing your reservations, the two houses of Parliament have reconsidered the bill and passed it in a manner fully accommodating your reservations. Your Excellency, this bill has a number of new provisions besides repealing the Public Officers Ethics Act, as it gives the EACC the final mandate of or administration of all matters relating to conflict of interest. The bill also prohibits state and public officers in the performance of the official duties from granting any person any preferential treatment beyond what is allowable by law. The bill also disallows public and state officers from being influenced by offers in the execution of their official functions. The bill also bars public officers from entering into contracts for supply of goods and services, as well as contracts of disposal of assets with entities where they work or where they have influence.
The National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse is urging the government to prohibit online alcohol sales, alcohol discount program, and the use of social media influencers, celebrities, and sport figures in alcohol advertising. This is part of sweeping new measures contained in the Ministry of Interior's national policy to combat alcohol, drug, and substance misuse, which was announced on Wednesday and targets aggressive marketing methods that the government claims normalize alcohol consumption. The proposed restrictions prohibit price promotions such as discounts, free samples, flat rate deals, and volume sales, all of which are widespread in pubs, supermarkets, and online merchants.
Alcohol, drugs, and substance abuse directly undermine our core mandate. As the Cabinet Secretary responsible for internal security, I affirm that our ministry will play a central and unwavering role in implementation of this policy. Over the last few months, I have engaged the local leaders, security agencies, and members of the public in consultative forums dubbed Jukwaa la Usalama across the length and the breadth of our nation. In each of the 22 counties so far visited, alcohol and drug abuse were identified as a major problem, not just in terms of lives, but also as a driver, one of the drivers in the high rate of crime in various parts of our country. We must do everything to combat this menace. Our focus, therefore, will be multi-pronged and decisive. First, on the law enforcement and supply reduction, illicit trafficking, manufacturing and sale of drugs and unregulated alcohol will be met with the full force of the law. This policy empowers us to intensify our operations against the drug cartels, illicit brewers, and peddlers who prey on the vulnerability of our people, especially our young children. The National Police Service, in close collaboration with specialized units and intelligence agencies, will enhance surveillance, dismantle supply networks, and ensure that those who profit from this menace are brought to justice. We will streamline interagency coordination, making it easy to share intelligence and conduct joint operations across all relevant government departments. There will be no safe haven for criminals engaged in this destructive.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.